something. It's just me being like in a mask, you know? Okay, so we've made 2 psycho killers. We made one when I was a senior in high school, when I was really, really fat. And then we made the second one last summer. The first one, it was like the first film I ever did, because then after that we had made a whole bunch of movies. First one, this was when I was a senior in high school and I was in Urinetown. And it's so bad, because you know how bad of a singer I am. I guess I'd be a hero, I don't know. That's cool. Where was I?
You
didn't even start, did I? It was the first film that I did. It's not a real film though, like, you know, just like what we make. I don't want to say it's like the first film I did because I've never done a real film. Like, but it is a real film, you know?
Yeah.
To us, it's a real film. So the first Psycho Killer was made, and it was like very, I feel like I could say it because he also agrees, my friend Sean, who we make all the, it was just really bad. The writing was really good, but like the acting was terrible. The mask like was good, but not as good as the second one. It just looked stupid. Everything was like clearly amateur. It was good because it was like a mockumentary. It's easier to make a, when you don't have any money, it's easy to make a mockumentary because the camera and the guy behind the camera like exist. The second one, he was like, he had a couple lines in the first one, but like in the second one that we made, he was like he had a huge part. When we came into the house, there was, in the frame, there was 2 beer bottles. Like coincidentally, there was 2 beer bottles, and I was like, what do you think's gonna happen next? And then he was like, hey, want to have like a drink? Like that's how bad the like staging was. Like we had like, it wasn't like, oh, go to the fridge and grab some beer. It was like, there was 2 beers for the guy who didn't know that he was gonna be in the house, and then also the other character. And so they were just sitting there, and then there was the morning after, and Sean like rearranged like the like shoes and like my shirt, like stuff that was like thrown off during the party scene. So like the morning after, there's like beer bottles and shoes, but I remember him like setting them up on the floor to where it looked like, oh, like this just all got thrown here, but it really just looks like footsteps to the bed where we were laying, and it looks so bad, but it's like, it was funny. There's definitely, I love watching that one back. I don't tell anyone where that one is, because I'm fine with people watching the second one because it's better. It's very like last minute. It was for a project of his. It was an assignment for him because he's a year above me, so he was in college. We made it in like a weekend, and he wrote the script on like Friday and Saturday, gave me the script on Saturday. We filmed it Saturday and Sunday, and he edited it Sunday night. And I didn't like have time to like do anything. So I don't want to say improv because that sounds too impressive. It was more like reading the script and like, he's like, just get the general idea. But there was something about that character that I absolutely loved. It was like, it felt like a guilty pleasure. Like for him, PK is what we call him. It's like killing is not bad for him. It's like, you know when, not you know when, but like someone could, you just go up to someone and you slap their butt, and it's like, that's wrong, don't do that. And it's like, okay. Like that's what killing was. Cause he's like a child, he was like a child, like, and I really liked that. This is gonna sound so lame, but like Sean was the one who was like, he just lives like in the moment. And after we finished the film, I was always like, can we make a second one or can we remake it? Because after the fact, I started getting all these ideas about what he would be, because I didn't have any time to like prepare or like even put something. It's just me being like in a mask. I thought the idea was hilarious of like a serial killer who's like, hey, come document me killing people, and he's just like, he kills people, but it's like, he's so good at it. What we had was that he has killed 60 people. I think to be a serial killer, you have to be, I think it's like, it's a low number. It's like 3 or 4 over like the span of a time, which is...
That's
weird. So we had him, he was like the best serial killer, but like out of pure luck. He's not skillful at all, but like he just gets away and he has fun and he's always like, ah. But so I had all these ideas and I like wanted to do it so bad, and we just never kind of got to it until this past summer when I was like, dude, we should really, because I had gone to a year of school here, and so I was like, I'm so much better now. And he had gone to a year of school as well. He was like, okay, like fine. So like this time we both wrote this one, which I was super happy about. This is gonna make me sound so pretentious, but so the film that we made first, Coop, was it was insane because he's like, we all like have these same people that we like look up to, and it's like all those people that like stay in character and stuff like that. So this first project that we did before we did the second Psycho Killer was it doesn't really matter what it's about, but like felt at the end more of like a project, like that process of making it was so different, and so like, because we realized that it didn't work, because we tried to make something like, it seemed just like raw footage and like that kind of, it was weird, and we realized that if you make something too real like that, it doesn't work because the audience is like distracted. That's when I broke my whatever this is, knuckle, because I punched a wall. And that's when Sean was like, we can't do this anymore. It's like, we'd go into the garage and it was like go time for like 4 hours, because the original plan for that was to shoot the whole thing in one shot because we wanted it to be like a play. So we rehearsed it a lot. And then we realized that didn't work. So it was like, I remember showing it to my mom, and my mom was like, it's just uncomfortable because like it seems like there's something like a weird cult thing, you know? And I was like, yeah, I kind of get that vibe. And so the first day we shot Psycho Killer, because I had all these ideas. I had like this, I had an Invisalign night guard that I had just gotten from the dentist, and I put it in because I want, like, and that's why he talks all funny. And I had all these ideas about how everything. And also, I had just finished my first year of school, so I was like, we were gonna go about it that way again, like in character the whole time. He was gonna be in character too, because he was directing and playing the character of the cameraman, or like the director. And the first day we filmed the music video to Beat It, and we filmed his last kill. So you could tell, it's funny because if you watch the film, you could tell.
Links in the bio.
Links. You could tell like my voice in that. It's funny because that's one of the last scenes is not as good as it is in the other parts of the films, because we filmed that part first. So that was a really long day of me trying to stay in character with Sean staying in character, and so we finished that day, and I was like, it was just like exhausting, and I was like, I didn't even really do any acting. I just like, we just filmed the music video. And anyway, but then he called me the next day and he was like, hey, I don't think we should do the staying in character thing this time around. And I was like, at that time I was very like why? That's like how we do things. That's like, it's cool, you know? Like that's what the good guys do. Yeah. He's like, just think about like Steve Carell in The Office. Like, he's hilarious and he's amazing, but like if you watch bloopers, like he comes in and out of character like really quick. You could be in character. If a director wants you to be in character, you would do that. Or if a director wants you to come in and out, you could do that. So like, this is a good time to practice that. And I was like, okay. He's like, I also want you to like be there to like help me like stage the film and like direct, like, not, I didn't direct, but like help him like with it, because it was just me and him mostly filming. So there's the scene where there's he asked him if he ever had a girlfriend, and she was my actual ex-girlfriend. We asked her, and I texted, this was so funny because I texted her and I was like, hey, do you want to be like in our film? And she was like, what's the part? And I was like, it's the character that I'm playing, it's his ex-girlfriend. And she was like, oh, like, yeah, totally. And I was like, no, it'd be so funny because if people know, then they know, like,
right.
that we're actually, and she was like, okay. She was a really good sport about it. But through this time we worked with a lot of other people too, because there was more people. It wasn't just three. Last time it was just 3 characters. This time it was like 5 or 6, I think. There was a lot more people involved. I loved this character. I loved him so much. And it was really sad, like the last day of filming, because the last thing we filmed was actually not the last scene. He has the camera and he's talking to the camera, and then he's moving Jerry's mouth. And we were like trying a bunch of things, like him kissing him and stuff like that. Like we were trying a bunch of stuff, and it was the funniest thing. The last day of shooting, we shot the second to last scene where, or just where he, in the hot tub, where he decides that he's like, I'm not kidding anymore. And it was the last thing we had to shoot. As I was leaving, in my PK voice, I was like, bye, Jerry. And then I started leaving, and then it was like the most, it was so cheesy. And then like, when I got to like the fence, like the edge, he was like, he said bye, PK. But it was by the time I had gotten to the fence, hey, and then like I turned around, and then he was like, bye, PK. And it was very like,
like,
but it was so, I was like, this is so lame. But also I was like, oh, man, I'm about to cry. That film was the most fun that I've ever had while making a film, or even doing like a scene with someone. That process was so fun because we had like a base level script. It wasn't like an idea from scratch. It was an idea from a full film that we had made already. And there was like a lot of like more free improv. It wasn't like just like we have to get this done, like, and this time it was like, oh, just keep it like in the, when we would do like interview scenes. There's a scene in the shower where he's filming me and I'm wearing underwear, and then I come in and Sean was like, he was like, I want you to use this towel, and it's like a towel that's like this big. Like he was like, I want you to use this and just wrap right here around your chest. And in the film, he's talking to me, and then like as I think he goes like, and he's like thinking, and then Sean always talks about how he like looked down to see if my dick was out, and then he like went down, and I remember watching the footage back, and I was like, why the fuck did you just like go down to like my white, wet, see-through underwear? I had a thing that I was gonna talk about. Yeah. So there's a part in the movie too when there was 2 parts that were, the ending was improv, and it's like not that funny at all. But to us at that day it's like there's a reason it cuts so quick after. So it's because he's talking, the PK's talking about, he's like, no other serial killer wears a business suit, like I'm unique. And then Sean's character goes like, what about Christian Bale in American Psycho? And then he goes, Christian Bale, like Batman? And then he's like, Batman doesn't kill people. And then he's like, no, like, and he's like, no, Batman doesn't kill people. And then Jerry's just like, okay, like, I'm not gonna win because I have a point and it's real. And then he's like, so then Sean just goes, okay. And then the camera keeps rolling, and like for 4 seconds, he didn't cut, so I was just like, okay. Like in the film, you see it cuts immediately after I say that, like immediately. Like I barely get okay out because both of us, right when I was like, okay, and we just both like, and just started laughing so hard. And then there's the other one where, like he passes out because he's talking about blood. Sean would come over, and he was like, let's just like see how it goes. Like, I don't know, like faint, wake back up, do whatever, like, but I'm gonna come check on you. And so like I did it, and I like kind of like nodded off this way, and then he came around to check, and I looked at him, and then I like spit in his face, and you hear Sean like start to laugh a little bit, and yeah. We want to make a second Psycho Killer, so we want to do it to where like he's done killing maybe, like, and he's like doing something else. Well, he has a name. He has a real name that I can't say. Watch to find out. But my friend Angel, who's in the army, was like, he had this idea where we make Psycho Killer 2, but it's a vlog in the perspective of this guy. PK kills Jerry at the end of Psycho Killer. Spoiler alert. So like the whole idea is that PK put together the whole film himself and released it himself, because he's like, he thinks it's cool. Like he's like, I'm in a movie. So it's like we wanted it to be like PK made this film from the footage that he got from Jerry's camera, who he killed. So like the whole film is like PK edited it himself. So it's like his film. We were saying like if he did put it on YouTube, like we did, if somebody saw it, like another guy, so we were thinking like this army guy sees it, and he's like, he's not necessarily an army guy, but he wears army pants. And he's like, I have to go kill this guy. So we were thinking, instead of it being like about PK, it's about this other guy going and trying to find PK. I think their interaction would be really funny, of like this like almost like an army like macho guy with PK, who's like not a definitive idea at all, but like we definitely want to make it the second one because like we both like absolutely adored that script and that character and that whole thing. So that's the that's it.
That's the end, I think.
You're not gonna believe this.
What?
41 minutes.
What? No, I don't think I've used not yet. I think I've used not. The other sex of that. It's definitely not soft. You know what's hard? Talking about sexting.